Someone ranked #1 in one of the hardest medical schools in the world, and he never took a single note. No highlighters, no flashcards, number 300-page summary documents. Just one strategy that changed everything. In this video, I am going to break down the exact study method my friend used to absolutely dominate his exams at Cambridge University, so you can copy it step by step and revolutionize your own learning. Here's what he did. Instead of spending countless hours summarizing textbooks or creating revision notes like everyone else, he took a completely different approach. He turned every single concept he came across, whether from lectures, textbooks, or practice problems, into a question. That's it. He didn't write answers. He didn't rewrite content. He simply built a massive bank of questions. For example, he had 60 questions for muscles, 158 for respiratory physiology, 216 for cardiology alone, just pages and pages of questions. He'd open a document for a subject, scan through the questions one by one, and try to answer each in his head. No writing, just thinking and retrieving the answer. And if he couldn't remember something, he didn't panic. He went back to the original lecture notes or textbook and figured it out. Then, the next time around, he would mark that question red. And if he still missed it on the next pass, he'd mark it blue or purple. That way, with each round of revision, he knew exactly what he needed to focus on, and didn't he waste time reviewing what he already knew. Now, let's talk about why this method is so effective. It is built entirely around the concept of active recall, a scientifically proven learning technique where you retrieve information from your brain rather than passively reviewing it. Most of us think studying is about getting information into our heads. But in reality, learning happens when we pull it out. Research shows that testing yourself rather than rereading or summarizing is far more effective. Studies have split students into groups and given them different study techniques: rereading, making mind maps, summarizing, and testing. Every time, the group that did self-testing outperformed the others in actual exams. That's active recall in action. And when combined with spaced repetition, where you review information at increasing intervals over time, you supercharging your memory and understanding. So how do you actually use this method? Start by choosing a subject or lecture, then go through the material and write down every possible question you can think of. Turn facts into prompts. For example, what are the roles of the cell membrane? What causes isometric force below 2 microns? What is the oxygen dissociation curve in fetal versus maternal blood? You don't need to write answers unless the material is complex or easy to forget. When you revise, simply go through your list of questions and test yourself. If you can't recall the answer, check your notes or textbook, then mark the question in red. Next time you revise, focus only on the red ones. Later, mark the ones you still struggle with in blue or purple. This way, your study sessions become targeted, efficient, and tailored to your weaknesses. And because you're constantly retrieving information and reviewing the hard stuff more frequently, it sticks. Now, I personally use Notion for this method. The toggle feature lets me create a clean list of questions, and if I need to include diagrams or short answers, I can hide them inside toggles. Sometimes I even grab lecture diagrams and paste them in using screenshots just to save time. But you can do this in any app: Google Docs, Word, Obsidian. It's the method that matters, not the software. And here's something important. Don't worry if you forget an answer. That's the whole point. When you go back to check, you're reinforcing the connection in your brain. It feels harder, but that effort is what builds long-term memory. Think of studying like going to the gym. Lifting a 70 kilograms weight takes effort. That's where your muscles grow. Lifting 20 kilograms might feel easier, but it does nothing. Same thing with learning. If it feels effortless, it's not working. And here's a final note about context. Just memorizing facts isn't enough. You need to understand the content. When a question doesn't make sense, don't just try to cram the answer. Go back, read the textbook, understand the why behind the fact. I often talk about the balance between compression and context. Our notes compress information, but textbooks provide the full story. If you skip the story, you'll struggle to apply or retain the knowledge. So make sure you truly get what you're asking and answering. Here's the kicker. My friend only used this method seriously for the last 2 months before the exams. Imagine if you started using it from day one. No more last-minute panic. No more ineffective cramming. Just smart, evidence-based studying that builds real understanding. And this works for more than just med school. You can use it in law, finance, engineering, high school, anywhere. So if you want to study less and remember more, ditch the highlighters, stop making endless notes, and start writing questions. It's one of the simplest, smartest, and most scientifically sound strategies you can use. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up and share it with someone who's still stuck highlighting textbooks. Drop a comment with the subject you're planning to try this on, and I'll try to reply or even get my friend Asaid to chime in. And don't forget to check out the links below for more tools and templates that can help. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's not about how hard you study. It's about how you study. See you in the next one.